Peace, y'all. It's your boy, Vinny Venom, man. The Commission Cypher, episode 15. We live and direct here in the Hydro Bar. Shouts to everybody. Shouts to everybody that's tuned in. If you ain't tuned in live, appreciate y'all tuning in on the on-demand side. We up here, man. I know we took a couple weeks off, you know what I'm saying? Recalibrating, doing a few things, so we're glad to be back. But I got a special guest in here, and I'm going to introduce y'all here in a minute. Episode 15, man. Please make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, dislike, whatever interaction y'all want to put on the page. Make sure you put on the page. We just crossed over to 70K since we started the channel, man. So salute to that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's been supporting, man. It's been we're about to hit a year, so I'm excited. We're gonna do a little celebration to hit that year, that 12-month joint. But man, we here, man. The Commission Cypher. We got some couple things we hear in the Hydro Bars. I tell y'all all the time, man. Make sure that y'all stay hydrated. Make sure that y'all hydrate differently, but also just make sure in general that you staying hydrated. It's getting into the colder, the cooler months, but it's still important to stay hydrated. So shout out to my partners at the Hydro Bar. Salute Tim, Junior, Senior, Julie, the whole staff. But we here, man. Episode 15, we locked in. Producer T-Rap, what's good, man? How you?
Big chillin'. Always. You know.
Hey. Nice little break, right?
It was a good break.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
You know, but we making moves everywhere else. So, you know, we ain't really taking a break.
That's a good point. That's a good point. We moving though. We moving. But I appreciate you being up here, producer T-Rap. We got some exciting shit coming. So we're gonna do season 2, starting at the 1-year anniversary. So this is the 15th episode, right? So we breaking things into kind of seasons. So season 2 is gonna look a little different. We're still gonna be in the Hydro Bar doing our thing, but different topics. You're gonna hear us hit on different things. So I'm excited about revamping for season 2. You know what I'm saying? So hydrobar.io is the website. If y'all want a free membership, make sure you tag myself, Vinny _ or is it Vinny.Venom? Vinny _Venom? Vinny_Venom. T-Rap, what's your social?
That kid T_Rav. RAV.
Grizz, what's your
That's
socials?
Grizzly.
That's Grizzly.
That's _Grizzly.
Dope. Hell yeah. So and then we gonna tag the rest of the crew on it too. So if y'all want a free membership, just tag us. We'll give y'all, a week or two to come in here, taste the water out, see the machines in here. Just get educated on what alkaline water is, right? So we always talk about it, man. No disease can stay alive in an alkaline environment, right? So that's fruits, veggies, and water. So we just want to educate y'all, make sure y'all getting hydrated properly, so come see us. And if you walk in, just come through, just tell them Vinny and the crew sent you, all right? So, couple of housekeeping items before we jump into my guest and our show today. Commission Cypher merch is coming soon. Shout out to everybody that's been asking about us. We got some hoodies coming. We also got some long sleeve, joints like this. So we got them coming probably mid-November. So be on the lookout for that. Also, Sirius XM every Friday night, the drama hour. We still banging out, man. Shout out to my Sirius XM fans. Shout out to Quincy, Kalani. Shout out to my brother Papoose. We're the top rated show on Sirius XM's Rock the Bells. So salute on that, man. Shout out to everybody that's been tuned in on demand. Shout out to Pap. He got that new record out now, Counting Green, featuring Busta Rhymes and Khadijah. We just hit fucking
hundreds of videos.
Bro, insane, bro. We just hit like 1.4 milli so on the video. So shout out to Win Records. We got an album coming out on Halloween, man. So I've been working. We took a little bit of a break, but, we always working behind the scenes. But we got a dope project that I ain't going to spill the beans right now, but I'm going to just tell y'all it's something different. And it's something that y'all going to really enjoy, man. It's a dope concept. So we got that rocking. And then what's everything I need to plug, man? Fuck it, man. If it comes to mind, then we'll roll with it. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate y'all being in the building.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see
How's
you,
everything
bro.
with you, man?
Shit, it's been good. Last time I was here, I had a fucking stomach issue.
Yeah, that was right. That was when we had
badass cramps in the.
Who we have up here? Mark
the Dark. Yeah.
Shout out to
the
Mark
boy.
the Dark.
Yeah, most def. But I left early. I was in bad shape, bro. But I ain't been here since then. But yeah, I'm glad to be back. Yeah. Feel good. Yes, sir.
I'm glad
yes,
you back up here, man.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
So yeah, we gonna jump. We got some topics to hit on. A lot of shit going on, man. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Like the same players seem to be in the mix, but there's some interesting shit going on. So I'm excited to talk with y'all about it, get y'all thoughts about it. But I got a special guest up here today, man. Episode 15 ringing off. I got somebody here, man, that I respect on multiple different levels. First and foremost, I respect him on a being a father, 2 young kids, grinding, always being, he's always just been. He's a father first and foremost, right? But a lot of fathers sometimes ain't present, right? But this man is present despite all the things that he be doing, right? Secondary, he's an incredible MC. He's been working on some new things that I'm excited to talk about, but talk a little bit about his history, man. But I got my boy GIZ in the spot. What's up, G?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you, man?
Good,
Appreciate you coming through, man.
Glad to be
Good
here.
to have you, man. You know what I'm saying? Long time coming. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming up, right? Thanks for coming up. And
appreciate you having me.
yeah, man. Shit. I always say this to everybody that come up here, and I mean it. My platform is your platform. So anytime you got something coming out, whether it's a video, an EP, an album, or if you just want to get something off your chest, you know what I'm saying? You come up here, we bang the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
So, that, man.
But yeah, man, I want to talk to you a little bit about your journey, obviously, as an MC, your journey as a man, but also all the stuff you got going on, because I know you cooking with a family member up here. Shout to DJ Jason. You know what I'm saying? He was up here a couple of weeks ago. Yo, I don't know if y'all saw, but I don't think it was the last episode we did.
Yeah, it was the one that you didn't show up for. But
I showed up at 2.
Oh yeah.
Did you tell him?
oh, no.
Yeah, bro, peep this shit.
Nah.
So in
He put 2 p.m. Eastern,
Yeah.
and I like a bonehead. I looked at it and I was like, bet I could sleep in. And I walked in, and Julie was like, I looked around, y'all weren't here, and I was like, are they here yet? And she was like, I think they just left. And I was like,
Damn.
and then I was like, okay,
Snap,
I'm an
yeah.
idiot. Yeah. So anyway, but I was here. I pulled up.
Okay,
but
word.
yes,
No, that
I
makes sense.
pulled
Yeah,
up
it's funny,
late.
he hit me and I was like,
wondering.
we out there already. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop with that Eastern shit. I do that for the YouTube people, so the people can get into it.
My bad.
But,
I mean, I should have known better, bro.
it's all good.
It literally said on there EST.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I should have caught that, but yeah. Anyway,
I mean, it's a common mistake.
Yeah.
It's something that I could have easily made that.
I mean, yeah,
You know
but
what I
you
mean?
smoke and I don't. So
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. That memory, baby.
oh shit.
Nah, but yeah, I as I was saying, I think that the key thing for us though is at least for you being up here, right, is I want to talk a little bit about your journey. I also want to make sure that people kind of know who you are, because I know you got some shit that you about to stir up. You know what I'm saying? You got some music that's coming. Yeah. But what I was gonna say though is that Jason was here filling up water, and on the spot, like, we debating already. He's like, "Yo, we was talking about, was it Ghost album
I think it was
or Ray's album
yeah,
or something?"
It was
we was
Ray's
kind of
album.
debating on
I
who
don't
had the
think
best
Ghost
discography in the Woo. So we chopping it up. But that's the dope thing about being here in the Hydro Bar. We got foot traffic in here. We got people filling up. Families coming in here getting a week's supply. Julie and the family here. The dogs is here. It's a family event. You know what I'm saying? So we banging out. But again, I appreciate you being up here, man. So, I guess let's. I know Grizz got some questions for you.
Yeah,
I
we want
got
to
some
kick it off, bro. So you're from New York, right? Originally from New York. Yeah. When you come out here to Albuquerque, how long you been out here in New Mexico?
I came originally at 13. Started high school freshman year.
Okay.
I feel like New Mexico's home, but there were some aspects of New York that like are really ingrained in me.
Oh yeah, that time in your life definitely helps solidify the person you are.
Right.
So growing up in New York. Oh, my bad. Go for it.
No. What part are you nigga from?
I'm from Manhattan, Lower East Side, money making, Alphabet
LES.
City.
Yeah. Yes, man.
I mean, if you know about it and you know about hip hop culture, it's part of the culture. It's important. It's part of the culture. If you watch things like Wild Style, if you know the movie Wild Style just got digitized, they just put it in
crazy,
4K.
Right? You see that?
So like
Yo,
that's
that
cool.
shit's
Like I
crazy.
want to kind of see it, but that neighborhood is in that movie.
Absolutely.
Graffiti writers are in that movie. Lead, like you know those people were a part of it. So hip hop was like it was there. always like in front of my face there in New York City.
That's how it is when you grow up in New York. Everything's in front of you. Culture's always in front of you. It don't matter if it's hip hop culture or whatever. As soon as you step out the door, it's there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's
Here
dope.
it was in your face, but I'm from Jacob Reese Projects. Slums. There's a lot of people from there. Like I mean, if you do your math on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, there's a lot of people that came up out of there that
True Life's from there, right?
People, huh?
True Life's from there, right?
Yeah. True
Shout out
Life
to
is
True
from
Life,
there. Rosario Dawson.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay,
there's a lot of different people, actors, actresses, like people that just kind of like you'd be surprised.
That's dope. growing up in New York, right? What was your environment like? And far as being out there, like how did the city shape you as a person?
I felt like it made me become like really self-sufficient. I was a latchkey kid. Mom had me at 18, and pops never in the picture. Grew up mostly in my grandparents' house and their, the apartment and projects. And, I kind of had to fend for myself a lot in a lot of situations. I was on the subway. My mom moved to the Bronx. I went to live with her, and I'm going back and forth from Manhattan to the Bronx on the subway at like 9 years old, 8 years old. Like you won't even let your kid play outside in 2025. Like,
yeah,
for real.
So it made me pay attention, like be really cautious. I'm like the black ops guy that's like looking at people still to this day. When I go in places,
that shit's ingrained with
myself.
you.
Like it's always been
that shit's
a part of my
ingrained with
life.
you.
Young, like so. I mean, I felt like it's just helped me be cautious of people in life, and I'm here. Mad decades later because of it.
For real, man. For real.
I think it helped.
It's crazy when you grow up in it's hard to tell people, but I know you can relate. But like when you grow up in New York, it is a dog eat dog world, right? You could get caught slipping quick. Right. So having your head on a swivel is so important. You know what I'm saying? Head up, eyes, ears open. Right. That was probably the best piece of advice that you have that I had gotten. When I was coming up, you have to. Because if you don't, you could be food to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Right. So,
I mean, I came here and then I went back. I got into a lot of trouble coming to New Mexico, bro.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
It was like culture shock.
Did you feel? Yeah, it's a complete culture shock. Did you feel coming up? I guess transitioning, from NY to here, was the culture shock of not doing anything because there's not a lot to do here? Did that fuck you? Is that what caused you to kind of get into trouble? And
really. Like I came here, and we lived in like the Corrales Rio Rancho area. I went to Cibola High School. Okay, so you got to think from Manhattan to going to Cibola High School.
Back then it was like there was none out there.
There was nothing over there in that general area. There's like the high school. There's a Walmart.
And I was like,
that was it
down the road.
Bro, that was like
everything was just fields of weeds and tumbleweeds and people mud bogging in front of the school because there's no business, there's nothing there. It's just open and it was all the cowboys and like all that stuff like was there. I never been around that. Guys like that actually like their dad has horses and they raise pigs and
it's crazy, right? Yo, that was the wildest shit when I moved out here. People they're like, yo, I got goats and chickens. Like, what the fuck? You got what in your backyard?
But I loved it though.
It's dope.
Like it exposed me to something different.
Absolutely.
Like going and trying to catch like crawdads or whatever on the ditch.
Oh yeah,
some kid that like
hell
has been here his whole life and stuff, and it exposed me to stuff that like I got New Mexico culture too. From I felt like I had a dual upbringing. I got exposed to both places. And stuff.
Nah, it's dope. I feel the same way too, man. I came here when I was young too, so it's cool because me and my wife we laugh like when we go out to NY. If I'm handling business and I come home, like. It's so chill here. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you can breathe. You can out there. It's like you're always stacked up on top of each other, and people always, you know what I mean? Like you like it to a point, but then I think when you leave and come back, you're like, damn, like that's something that sometimes you might take for granted here, where things are chill. It's a little bit more lax. You know
it's great for opportunities to live life and have fun and experience new things, and like there's a lot. Everything's there. It's like capital of the earth, pretty much.
It's the Mecca. It's the Mecca of the world,
and so much goes on there. But like when you're there, it's like sensory overload. Like I can appreciate a smaller environment, you know, a place like New Mexico where like Albuquerque in general, where you can like drive 20 minutes out of the city, 30 minutes out of the city, and you're kind of like, I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't hear anything. It's quiet.
Yeah,
like
it's dope.
you're away from people. You end up on the res or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Nah, it's dope. It's a dope shift. You know what I'm saying? But it is a culture shock because I remember like when I first came here, it was like I'm used to going out the crib on a corner. I have a bodega, a deli,
Right.
something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then you come here and it's like, oh, everything's 15, 20 minutes away. You gotta drive. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah,
That
cars
culture shock
mandatory.
is crazy.
My family didn't have a car growing up, you know, like we lived in an apartment, and the subway's there, the bus right there on the corner. If you want to take the bus to get to the subway,
Yeah,
you know,
everything's
and
right there, bro.
What do you need? If
Gotta
not,
move
the
around.
bus- Cool.
Yo.
There's a taxi too. You could do that.
Exactly,
You know? So
exactly.
It's like
So it's a little different. How do you see? You've been here for a while, and I kind of noticed this too over the last, probably since COVID, maybe a little bit before COVID until now. But you see the city starting to kind of get some wings behind it, right? You starting to see, you know, I like to call here the Q. You know what I mean? They building a lot here, a lot of residential, a lot of commercial businesses going up. A lot of small business owners are getting their feet back on track after COVID.
right.
Are you seeing that as well? The city starting to expand and get bigger and kind of getting its own name out there.
Yeah, I see a lot of businesses coming to New Mexico. There's a lot of plans, a lot of things that are happening over the next, 5 to 10 years. Big companies, big investments that are coming, and it's good to see. Part of it's like it's almost a bittersweet thing. Like we want things in New Mexico to have us grow. There's so much here, but at the same time, it comes at a cost to bringing in more. Does take away from
Gentrification's a
the
motherfucker, bro.
authenticity of Albuquerque and New Mexico culture, and the hard worker, the blue collar side of things, and when you bring in Hollywood, it
changes a little bit.
It changes things.
Sure.
So,
Definitely.
It's crazy.
It's
I
good,
noticed
though.
too, like over the last, I ask you that because I just remember like when I tell people I live out here from back home, they're like, what the fuck is that? Like, I've never heard of that before. Now when I have conversations, people are like, oh shit, I know about
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Breaking
When
Bad,
Bad.
or
For sure. Always.
the Balloon Fiesta type thing. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So we have our own identity, which is dope. So
when I was coming here, people like from New York were like, wow, like don't drink the water.
What?
Like the whole thing, Like I just barely learned New Mexico was a state
Bro,
before I came
mom
here.
still says that shit.
nah, mom,
real.
hey, mom's is right, bro.
Don't drink that water, bro.
I don't drink, but you should be drinking the water in New York either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what makes the pizza dough so good, they say.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
pizza
the water
dough,
up
the
there
bagels,
is-
all that shit. They got some
It's true,
natural, like some shit.
up
It's
New-
whatever.
upstate
Yeah,
New
bro.
York.
Apparently, they got some
what it
bomb ass
is.
water out there,
what
bro.
it is.
Growing up out here and out there, right? Dual citizenship. You lived most of your life out here, right? But you came from there. I think a lot of the folks who subscribe to us and watch us are from New Mexico. What give us some insight into how did New York like shape your perspective on music, and how did it influence you and your music taste? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did that have to do with you as far as music goes?
I mean, I was around a lot of people that were like in around hip hop culture in its infancy. Not necessarily like people that were in the industry, but like when people here were just hearing those songs,
Yeah.
just here and there.
Shit, 80s,
there was
bro.
already
That's when it was
mixtapes
popping. It
and,
was- yep.
everybody like people. There was every building had 3 or 4 dudes that had turntables. In their house, and that like was where my influence came from. Like
That's
being
dope.
around, there's the guy that's just playing music in front of the building every day. He has it on the speaker. He's playing records, and you just hear it, and hip hop like it was just the DJing side of it that I like. Was like, this is cool, and I learned how to blend records.
Yeah.
And then I started like really listening to it was like house music and freestyle and hip hop all was like kind of a thing in the late 80s.
Yeah.
When I was a child, and it gave me a love more for music. I always had music playing in my house. Like I'm Puerto Rican, like salsa music was always on, merengue, and my grandfather listened to country so he could learn English, and there was always like music playing in my house. And then as soon as I walk out of the building, boom, like it was like a whole other world of more music. So just in general, New York put music in me.
Yeah.
You know, not even just hip hop. Like I was exposed to so many different types of music there in front of my face because it was like there was a cultural rising in the 80s, not just hip hop. It was like, I mean, I could walk to the CBGB from where I lived at too.
Oh, word?
You know, so like punk rock culture, and, you know, all those things were like in the early stage. It was like you know,
it was
just
on
an
the cusp of
explosion.
just kinda
It was an
hitting that
explosion
mainstream,
of so many different things.
That
So
straight melting pot.
that's where I mean, I'm from the Lower East Side. If you know about the Lower East Side, the Village in New York, you know, all these, like you see Washington Square Park and all these different things in movies. That's the area. You know, we would, like, in general, you could walk. Everybody walks. You walk a couple miles, not really anything. Everybody walks all the time out there. And that's where I got to see those things more and bands. And so I feel like that gave me something where I felt like, not on my high horse, but I felt like I had something that nobody had.
Yeah, when you're a part of it,
No
bro,
matter
you're right
what,
there. We talk about that all the time. It's like, I'm so far disconnected from that. That shit is just like a dream to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that is like
I feel fortunate
mythical,
for
bro.
it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all, like, you know, being out there, it just seems like some place, you know, like, so, yeah, I definitely agree.
The key word is fortunate.
Yep.
I feel
It's
fortunate.
yeah,
for
most
it.
def.
Like, it's crazy because, you know, obviously I think, you know, due to family situations and just kind of things beyond my control, you know, when my mom's family started to migrate out here to open up their business, it was probably the best thing they could do, because when you're in that environment, right, obviously we hold near and dear that to our heart, right?
Right.
But also there's pitfalls in those environments, right?
You,
That
you know, the
we
bucket of
could've-
crabs that it is.
Exactly.
You know,
You
too,
know,
at the
we
same
could have
time.
played victim to that. You know what I'm saying? So, but just being able to have that experience, right, I think shapes us.
Yeah.
Like you said, it ain't a high horse thing. It's just we have a little bit of an advantage.
Right.
We have a little bit more knowledge than, let's just say, the average. You feel me?
Right. I was exposed to a lot. It was readily available at a point in time when the internet didn't exist.
Yeah.
And you had to chase things that you were into. I know we were talking about that a little bit earlier before we started. You could tap into anything you want, and that was just like anything that was new. There's so many new things, but how do you learn about it?
Right.
You know, like you can't go to a library. You just gotta like
You gotta
end up in the
experience it. You
right
gotta
place
be-
and find out.
You gotta
and,
be in the trenches.
and look and call and
Yep.
you know and find out about it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Being from New York, I think you probably have a lot of different influences, right? There's a lot of people around you. There's a lot of things that you saw. Who are your biggest inspirations, or some of your earliest inspirations? Whether it's, you know, people in your family, musically, maybe somebody you looked up to in the neighborhood, something like that.
Yeah.
Who influenced you the most at an early age?
I mean, there's definitely a few people. Like my uncle, my mom had me when I was young. She had an older brother, Ricardo, who was like into music, into acting, and doing different things in the neighborhood. And he was an artist and visual artist, and kind of was tapped into things. And there was several people in my building that like were kind of tapped in to culture. And like my guy Tony, growing up, Tony Nieves, like he. You know, he was the first person that exposed me to like being around, like playing records and doing those things. And, you know, we definitely had graffiti writers and B-boys and everything in our building. It's 48 apartments in the building. And it was just like a collective of different people, you know, depending on who was around, that put those things in my face. My mom even, you know, taking me to see like Rock Steady Crew versus,
that's dope.
you know, Air Force. Like when I was a child, when I was little, you know, like people watch Beat Street and that's like a relic of a movie.
Yeah.
But that was when I was being exposed to it as a little kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So though my mom was into that culture, it was something new. Like, hey, let me show you this. So it was a lot of different people. I got it from family and friends. So
I think everybody's got that uncle or like an aunt. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with an uncle and an aunt. It was like, I didn't have no siblings until way later, but most definitely get some influence from that. For sure.
great is my uncle lives here too.
Oh, he moved
to New
out here
Mexico,
when y'all moved out here, or what?
Years later, you know, just he ended up settling out here too. So like,
Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking about actually a couple weeks ago. my kids' school. They go to a charter school, and literally down the street from the school, my grandmother's sister, she was one of the first ones to come from New York out here. And I believe this is around the time when my pops and my moms actually met here. So they used to live out there. Mom's from Queens. My pops from Harlem. So my pops is out here trying to buy a bunch of Meinekes down here with his partner. She ended up meeting my mom's. But long story short, my father's aunt had a crib out here. And she would always tell us that she came out here for the weather. Because in New York, the weather's crazy. You get all 4 seasons, buried in snow, heat wave, blackout, whole nine. You come out here and the weather is just...
It's pretty mild.
The weather here is good. To me, that's the best part of living out here is the weather.
You might get all 4 seasons in one day, but you don't get that heavy, dang, it's been snowing for like 4 days type of stuff.
I say that to say this is that a lot of people, migrated from NY out here. Actually, shout to bro, what's the old man's name here? I can't remember his name. Dennis. Shout to Dennis. Dennis and his wife, they co-owners of the Hydro Bar. So he's from New York. His wife's from Jersey. And he told me that in the 70s, they used to mail out these mailers to people in New York about a development here in Albuquerque. They're like, hey, if you're interested in land, starting a business, this, that, and the third, come to
It's a good
New
place
Mexico.
to go. That's crazy,
So,
bro.
You familiar with it's Car Champions now, but it used to be Quan's Auto.
Yeah, Quan's.
All right, so my mom's side of the family, they own that. So my great grandmother, she came out here to start that business with her husband. And I believe, I gotta ask her, I'm not sure, but I believe that that's probably what they seen. They probably seen these plans, like, what's this place?
Let's go.
Dirt cheap land. You buy it, you start a business, you build a house, whatever. Boom.
Quan's was the first shop that I remember my mom having, like her first car. We came to New Mexico, and that's the shop that she took her car to. Was Quan's.
It's crazy, man. Shout to my mom's cousin Ricky, man. I know he sold the business, but man, they had it on lock out here. But the migration piece is crazy. Slowly but surely, everybody start coming out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's wild that your parents met out here unintentionally. Both from New York.
Crazy,
That's
right?
wild.
That's some shit, bro.
It's insane, bro.
That blows my mind because, God, that they're just out here at the right time and then happen across. You know the chances of that, bro? And then now you here, your brother's here, bro, all your kids and shit. That's wild to me, bro.
And honestly, we talk about it all the time because,
Time is everything.
people always ask me too, like, yo, what brought you out here? And I think it's just circumstantial, but when you think about it, it's like, they wanted to kind of start from ground zero, to be honest. Start a business, right, build a house, et cetera, et cetera. And you can't do that in New York, unfortunately. Like
but you can here.
Right.
And could, especially then.
Yeah.
So.
Most definitely.
Wow.
Let me ask you something. When did you know that hip hop was something that you wanted to do? When did you know that you wanted to get into, when did you know, when how old were you, or do you remember the moment at the time of your life where you were like, this, I'm a fucking b-boy, or I'm a hip hop head or whatever, you know what I'm saying? When was that?
I mean, probably 13, 14 years old. I feel like I was already in that. I was being bred to be one of those kids by the culture, by the music that was on, listening to, WBLS, listening to Marley Marl on the weekends, and I'll be there recording every live mix. It's a world premiere, and I'm there recording everything that I can, like
on
Public
tape.
Enemy
T-Rap.
world premiere
On
songs,
tape, T-Rap.
KRS, Boogie Down Productions, world premiere.
thinking I don't know about a
I
tape?
got to hear the battles between Queensbridge and the Bronx, and and
That's
had
wild.
my uncle I was talking about, he bought me my first Walkman. That's where it started. That Walkman, getting that Walkman.
That's it. That was it for me too, man. Once I got that, it was like, all right, cool. This my world right here.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
And that
something.
did it.
Let me ask you something else. And so you came, you had all of this influence in New York, and then you came out here. How did New Mexico influence you in that way too? What was going on out here when you first got out here that you were able to continue in that path instead of being a cowboy, or instead of being like, damn, I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? What was happening out here that kept you on that path?
So I came here and I skateboarded.
Okay.
I skateboarded.
All
It was
right.
skateboarding culture is definitely deep in hip hop culture more than people like really talk about.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Hal Hunter and so many other people that are legendary skateboarders from New York. I came here and all the skateboard kids were like graffiti kids.
Okay.
They all listen to rap music. They all listen to, 911's a joke or, whatever was on at that time. And like those are the people that I was around. And they all wrote, and I'd already was trying to do little graffiti and stuff myself. So, having those kind of people, like if there's legendary graffiti writers from New Mexico, like people don't talk about that. This is like one of the capitals of that. So
really,
Mexico's tied into hip hop.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
Giant.
Oh, that,
when
yeah,
you talk, like,
sure.
like when he's one of the biggest graffiti writers in the world.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. And he's lived here. He's originally from New York too, which is weird. But he graduated high school here, and he did, and
yeah, he's always posting pictures. I think he moved out here for a little bit recently, like in the last 5 years. I think he moved out here, moved to Santa Fe, and then he dipped because it's hard to be out here.
But being around those people, so like the skateboard kids, and I would just. The Hydro Bar brings people in. My guy, Mike Barilla, I skateboarded with him like when I was 14 years old. He listened to hip hop. They broke that. They were break dancers, still b-boy to this day, like 50, and it was just, that was already going on. Like the little bit of stuff was like, it was bleeding out to the rest of the world. New York was bleeding out everywhere. So kids were already on that.
That's dope that you were able to find
fall into that with.
Yeah, that's dope that you were able to find that out here, right? That's great because you go from there to here, and you still were able to find that out. That's a testament to how powerful it is, right?
So many legendary people. Shout out to ATK. Shout out to UKS. Shout out to there's so many crews that started in the infancy that became more and tie into a lot of hip hop culture that is even around today. People that are doing stuff here in New Mexico still today. Those
crazy thing about New Mexico too is that I noticed like my daughter's best friend, she's a breakdancer. She's a B girl. She got her own beats. She's dope, and she learned how to breakdance from videos. But it's crazy how the native culture, right, the indigenous culture, like they really attach to hip hop, and they are a really big part of hip hop too to bring it. I think here as well.
Right, 100%.
And I love that because I've been to a couple of her, her competitions and stuff like that. And the thing that I love about it is that hip hop connects all these different people from different walks of life, right? From any walk of life. Once you connect it with hip hop, boom, it's that one singular thing. So it's like b-boying, breakdance, or graffiti, MCing, DJing, all of that shit plays a part. And it's dope that you're able to get a collective when you moved out here. Because for me, it was hard. Like I really didn't have a collective until, like I remember me and Jay, super young. Like we went to school together, and me and him, that was the first thing he wanted to learn how to make beats and do be a DJ. Right. So it's dope to have that kind of crew of people that you can bounce off of, get creative with, and have that same passion. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's fire.
When did you start writing music? When was it that you transitioned from spectator to a player in the game, bro? When was it that you started like dabbling in writing music and thinking that you wanted to do music?
Really, I think probably around 15. So like I had like some events happen in my life. I came to New Mexico at 13. At 14, I was in YDC, in trouble. My mom sent me to go live in Queens with my aunt. I got into more trouble out there because I was already dialed in with people here.
Yeah, the mindset.
And like my mindset of being in two places and being around like criminal culture that I've been around, like kind of set it in. But like I went there and I had to come back again to New Mexico at a time where I feel like hip hop was like, it was like 91, like it was starting to become like where it really drove forward, like it became mainstream. Yeah. It's like at that point, LL Cool J is coming. Like there's all these different people that were around that area. My aunt lived in Rosedale, Queens, which is South Side, and if you know about South Side Queens, Jamaica, like Laurelton, and all these different areas, like there's so many people from there. and I got to see them there. You know, I'd be on the block, and there was guys that, like, you would see Q-Tip from Tribe driving in the Jetta, you know, down the block. And, you know, you wouldn't be connected to that person, but seeing it. It made it real. I heard the music, and then it became real. And, like, once I saw that and was seeing those people in front of me, and I was like, man, well, they're doing it.
Yeah, I could do it. It makes it real. That's dope.
And I'm a pretty good writer. I like telling stories. You know, I was like that. That was kind of my thing already, was words and writing and, you know, doing jokes and making my family laugh. So, like,
was it some form?
15 years old, probably like, I'm just gonna do this. Did it become like some sort of an escape for you to write? It's like, obviously dealing with a lot of shit in your environment, a lot of things in your cipher. Was there something that triggered you to be like, yo, writing is kind of my way out? Did you look at it like that? 100%, because I mean, you know, I came back to New Mexico incarcerated again. You know, like, I came back and, you know, went through the system and was in group homes and, you know, boys' school and all the different things you could have in the early 90s as a New Mexico kid. If you were a hooligan, like, I went to all of it.
Yeah,
and
you went through
it gave me, like, I had a lot of time in rooms where I didn't have much, but besides, like, some paper and a pen and, you know, whatever.
Like that.
It was just like meager. There wasn't a lot of access to much, but I could do that myself. I could draw and I could write.
Yeah, that's your world right there. Boom.
Yeah,
just dive into it. That's
so
dope.
yeah, like, being incarcerated as a juvenile, as a young person, gave me the pen. You know, like, it gave me something, but I didn't, like, take it serious. I didn't show it to a lot of people. I didn't, you know, put it in people's face until a little bit later. But, like, that was it.
Did you feel like, being from New York, that you had to push yourself lyrically? Do you feel like you had to be, because you were from New York, did that put pressure on you to be a more lyrical writer? Or do you feel like that didn't have any influence on you? I mean, I'm sure it had an influence, but like, lyrically, right? Because New Mexico hip-hop is light years behind New York, different, maybe not behind, but it's different, right? You know what I'm saying?
It's just a different way of doing it, to be honest. It's a different sound.
So did you feel pressure, like, I'm from New York, like, did that have any bearing on you?
I don't think necessarily that I was from New York, but that was the hip hop that I gravitated to.
Yeah.
You know, like
that's what made you want to
I
write
like
in
to
the
hear
first
the
place.
stories, you know, hearing people like Slick Rick as a child, like, oh wow. You know, when you can follow it along and, like, almost close your eyes and, like, see what people are saying, like, that's what I knew I wanted to do in that case. So yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you performed? Do you remember, like, your first performance? Like, when you said earlier that you didn't show it to a lot of people at first. Like, how long did it take? Like, you remember your first performance?
Yeah.
What was that like? How did you feel? You know, what was? Tell us about that.
It was in Albuquerque. There used to be a Civic Plaza like thing that they would do on Friday nights, and, like, the youth, all the urban kids would come out, you know, and there'd be a DJ, one of the DJs, like, from, you know, local club, whatever, Sterling Steel or somebody, and they would, like, sometimes have open mics. So I did the open mic, and I had this girlfriend at the time. Was like, you actually know what you're doing. You should do this.
That was the first time you in front of the whole city.
And well, I mean, Civic Plaza. You know,
I mean, but damn, like, when people come out, shit, I thought you might have performed for your family or something, dog.
It was an open mic. Yeah, it wasn't like like, hey, here
no, for sure. Yeah, no, but still,
I just had to get up there. I think I went over, like, I think it was like a BDP beat or something. It was just like freestyling, basically, and I freestyled in front of everybody. But I freestyled through the whole beat.
That's sick.
So it was like, okay, like, I can actually do this. And you know, freestyling was, and that was another thing. Like, I didn't have to write.
Yeah,
I could sit back and just make up rhymes in my head, and, you know, keep myself busy, like, in my head. In that, but yeah, Civic Plaza, Albuquerque, probably like 16.
That's dope.
That's sick. Yeah, that's like, I mean, essentially the whole city, because New Mexico's not big. I mean, Albuquerque's not big, and, you know, they've always tried to do stuff for the youth, but, like, that's where everybody, I'm sure everybody was there. People from your school or other schools or whatever, like, the people you knew, because this ain't a big city, right?
It was like, there, you go to the beach, you know, like, where else you go?
Right. You mentioned that you had gone through YDC. You mentioned you had been in the system, and you know, I've known you a long time, and I knew you for a long time before I knew that you had gone, that you had been locked up, right? And so, can you tell us about how that impacted you, right? Like, how did it impact your mindset, right? As a man and as an artist.
It crushed me, first off. You know,
I'm sure, yeah.
It at a point where I felt like, okay, I'm getting into an age and an environment where this music stuff can actually happen. It pushed me back, but at the same time, it made me just kind of jump all the way into it and avoid the rest of the world, you know, and create relationships, you know, with people that gave me opportunities while I was still there, you know. It became my focus, even if I wasn't like in it. Like it helped me fine tune myself.
Okay.
Because I had a lot of time to fine tune myself.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know, sharpen the blade. What are you gonna do? You know.
You were. So you were there for a while, right? Like, yeah. I mean, it was a long time that you had spent there, right? You were writing music, because I think I've heard that some people don't write. There's a lot of people that have been locked up. They're like, I couldn't get creative. I didn't feel creative in that space, or it wasn't some place that I felt like I could write. Did you feel like that, or were you making music when you were locked up?
No, I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like I was like, it helped me become myself. It helped me like be a standout MC. It helped me like be better.
Oh, for real?
You know, I was already doing those things. Like, I mean, already doing rap battles and already doing those things before I went to prison. I had those opportunities before I went to prison, and I didn't have anything but time and music to listen to.
Yeah.
And I had access, like, through, I created a little relationship with the property officer.
Done.
That got me some things.
Yeah.
And, you know, all the beats are coming from my friend's studio, and, you know, it gave me chances. I'm doing, you know, raps over the phone, over DJ Noble beats. Shout out to DJ Noble. You know, at that point in time, like they pulled me in.
Yeah.
And all I could focus on was that.
Was it other dudes rapping in there too? Like, I mean, I'm sure, but was it other dudes like really putting on like?
Yeah.
Like,
it was definitely.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that wanted to do that, and there was like, you know, they have like the band room club and stuff, and you have access to music equipment and different things like that. So I jumped into those things and took those opportunities and just wrote, and, you know, I was writing all the time.
That's one thing I noticed with your music, you know, when you first started sending me records, is that I always noticed that your pen was you had a lot of detail in the pen.
Right.
And I appreciate that, because some of the guys that I used to listen to as a kid, I like the intricacies of the bar work. And you've always had that, right? And I think as you gotten older, you got more experiences, right? You're obviously getting better at putting it together.
Right.
But you always had it. Some people don't have it right away.
Right.
First time I heard you, I was like, oh, damn. Like, you know the structure, right? You know how to get the bars into the sequences, right?
Right.
Do you think having that time on your hands, being incarcerated, really made you sit down and master that?
Yeah, I picked
a lot
everybody apart.
Yeah,
I picked everybody apart. It's not.
You have to.
It's not on some biter stuff, but like I'm over analyzing everybody's bars, you know, and not just like, you know, New York heads. Like, I'm listening to, you know, The Game and you know, all these different people from other places, 3-6 Mafia, you know, all the Texas people, you know,
pulling inspiration from everywhere.
UGK, like and just Scarface and picking apart, especially the storytellers, you know, that are able to get these words and write in like double entendres. Like, here, you could take this story for face value, listen to the bar that I just gave you though in the same time, talking about this, but did you hear that? Did you hear that one line?
That's
and
the
I wanted to be that
of,
guy that you had to rewind, like, oh shit, what did you just say? Yeah. I wanted to be that person. Yeah. Like, I wanted to be able to, as soon as I'm out of this place, I'm gonna record music and I'm gonna have it at this level. Right. Where
when did you when were you when did you get out?
2009.
Okay. So I'm just trying to think of the time period, like the music that was going on from when you went in to when you got out. Yeah. Yeah. And it was a lot of that was like the time that So when you went in, it was like Tupac. It was like that was like probably when the West Coast was just kind of dying out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then Texas was coming up. You mentioned Texas.
All the South music.
Slim Thug, Paul Wall, all that came out while you were in, which is a crazy period. Just as a huge period, and it makes sense that you're such a dope artist, because I've seen you perform live. Like, I've been to your show and I've seen you perform live, and I was really blown away, because like I said, I had known you for a long time, and I didn't know you had been in prison. I didn't know. I mean, I think I knew that you did music, but everybody does music, or everybody's like, oh, I do music or whatever, and so you could tell that you were able to really hone in on your craft and like you said, sharpen the blade. What's the biggest lesson you carry with you, or what's the biggest impact? Like what stamp did doing time leave on you? Like, what do you carry with you to this day from the time that you were locked up, right? Like, what is it that still you're like, I learned this, or
it helped me appreciate the little things, man. Like what small things I got there, what people take advantage for granted, like I could go to the kitchen and grab me an egg and cook it in a pan, like I could do those small. I could go outside whenever I feel like it, so it really just helped me appreciate like smaller things and not take things for granted, and not want to chase like more in a negative way.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like these baby steps or something. Every little baby step is something along the way, and let me embrace the moment of everything that I'm learning, everything that comes along, instead of just flying through life.
Yeah,
Help me slow
I think
down.
That's dope, because a lot of
I had
people
to slow down, so it slowed me down.
people take shit for granted, of course, right? So that's a good point. But it's interesting that some people will get out of prison and crash out, and just what I'm saying. It's crazy that people will get out and it doesn't work on them, right? So I think that it's dope that you were able to come out and turn your life around. What's super interesting about you, to me, at least, is that you aren't the typical, like, you don't look or not necessarily look, but you don't remind me. You don't act as somebody who's been to prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. I've known you for years, bro. At this point, I've known you, I think, probably 10 years, and I've never, I would have never guessed. You carry yourself with a lot of integrity, and I just think that it's what is it that helps you be the type of person you are, right? Because like Vinny mentioned, you're a dope ass father. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a good person. I think you're a dope dude in general. What is it that makes you want to be a good person?
I've done a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
I've seen the impacts of my actions. I've seen prison gave me opportunities. So like, I'm my first friend group. Out of my friend group, I'm the first one that went. Mm-hmm. Guaranteed like 7-8 dudes came behind me. Mm-hmm. But I was the first person that went, and it gave me a chance to like sit back and see how the small things that I did created these big ripples. These little pebbles I thought were nothing. Like, I had influence on people in a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
On a criminal aspect. Yeah. But also on this hip hop stuff. Mm-hmm. I had people writing me, telling me, hey, I'm alive because of you. Yeah. I would have been a gangbanger and doing all these things and killing people if it wasn't for you exposing me to this. Yeah. So it really gave me a chance to think about my karma. Yeah. Like, okay, I've had these major influences. People were drug addicts because of me. People were this because of me. Mm-hmm. People were, or not because of me, but maybe because I played a part in
I get what you're saying.
Coach bringing them along.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't lead them to the water, but they were going to drink the water regardless, so I gave it to them.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's crazy, too, to add on to that, bro. Like, I grew up in a family, unfortunately, where all of my cousins, my grandfather, my father, all incarcerated throughout their life. Like, I remember just getting calls on birthdays. Hey, you have a call from a federal prison. It's your grandfather. My grandfather, rest in peace, he died in prison. You know what I'm saying? No one came to help him. They just let him go. But I remember as a young age, I seen that, and I never really understood, like, until I got older, obviously. But when you was a kid, going to the visiting floor or taking these calls, you're like, yo, why are you in there? And, you know, they give you this spiel of, like, for a long time, you know, I was told, yo, your grandfather's in the military. Oh, yeah, he was in the military. He was fucking locked up. Or your pops is doing this and that. So when you start to see it and visualize it, it kind of instills in you, I think, that ripple effect. It's like, hey, whatever your actions be, you could be put in here.
Right.
And then, of course, the whole time your family's incarcerated, they telling you, don't come here. This is hell. This is the closest thing to death. You don't want to be here, right? So I think it instills in your mind of being cognizant of your decisions, right?
Right.
And sometimes you learn the hard way by, you know, either being incarcerated or sometimes, you know, for my benefit, at least when I was growing up, I had to see it.
Right.
So I was able to see it. I'm like, yo, I don't want to fucking be here. I don't even want to be close to this, right? But you're right about these little impacts, right? Can have ripple effects, and sometimes they could turn into tsunami waves, right? And they could crush your mental, but also someone's physical, right? Or mental as well. So having that awareness is important. But I think that's why your pen game is very strong, because you're able to get into those details and really dive into those intricacies. Because a lot of people don't do that.
It's trying to slow down for it. I need to give you that, or I'm gonna sell myself short.
Yeah,
you know, if I don't, because, you know, I mean, I feel like I thought about that. Yes, the karmic side of it, but I was also looking at these guys, because I mean, I did time with people that are like, not gonna get out, never got out,
100%,
died since I've been out, like, and I would sit at the table with them and have those conversations. Learning this man's 60 years old, but he's been in here for 30 years. And who was he before that? What were those things that he was doing before that? You know?
That's the shit, bro.
I'm getting my freedom back, and I'm going to run it for him. And I'm going to run it for him, and I'm going to run it for him.
Yeah, that's dope.
Because these cats are not, they're not, they don't get the chance. Yeah. So how am I going to get out and not, like, really jump at the opportunities, or, you know, live the life that I could actually live and have that mind state? Like, I mean, not to say that I wasn't institutionalized, but I didn't go with the program. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's chow hall? Cool, yeah, whatever. Right. I'm not going to the chow hall. I'm not going to eat when you want me to do that. I'm not doing this. I'm not sleeping when you want me to do the sleep. I'm not going to do the jobs at the hours that normally going to do, or the stuff that you want me to do. I'm not going to work in your child hall. I'm not going to do those things. I'm going to do my time the way that I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to structure it the way that
you were able to do that.
So when you create your own routine, right, you have that's the only control you got, you know, in that situation.
It's crazy you say that.
And it helps.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It helped me.
It's crazy you say that, because shout out to my cousin, man. He's doing a life bid, and he tells me the same shit. He has to create his own routine because when you're in those positions, you are told when to fucking bend over, when to cough, when to spit, when to eat.
You can't control that part.
Right. So that piece is what it is. But for you to have that kind of own, you know, reality, or also that way of structuring your day is important, right? I want to ask you too, your influences coming up. I think we have it on the list too, Grizz, let me know. But I wanted to kind of ask you a little bit about your influences coming up from the MC side. Like, if you were to pick like a top 5, you know, during this time, or even just in general, who are some of the people, you know, from an MC perspective that really influenced you on the pen side, that you study real hard?
Nas, definitely. Rakim, you know, is like a older, like in my baby stages or whatever, me listening to rap music, definitely Rakim. But Nas, really, more than anybody, I feel like embodied like what I wanted to do with the kind of rap that I wanted to do. You know, to be able to paint pictures and tell stories and like be more of like the reporter that's like, hey, look at all these weird things that I saw along my journey, you know? And then like people like today, you know, I'm still influenced by MCs, you know, like Locksmith or Royce 5'9".
Shout out to Locksmith, he got a new project out.
So many different people, and to be your own character, like Busta Rhymes. You know, if you watch that man's career since Scenario, you crazy, know, right? Like in the things that have happened. So like that's probably it right there.
That's dope. Yeah, I mean, those are all guys that I think really carve their own lane, but they're all so different in a sense of how they do it. That's one dope thing about hip hop is that I said it here on this podcast, but hip hop's an art, not a science, right? There's no right or wrong way to do this shit, right? And it's so dope to hear you got a range like that for sure. We're gonna jump into some topics here in a minute. I know there's a lot of shit going on that we want to chop it up about, but I want to ask you a little bit about music now. Being an older MC in this, we used to back in the day be told this is a young man's sport, right? Right. And I'm seeing now and more that the older cats, such as we up in age, but we're starting to really hold that torch now. Yeah. And we're really starting to kind of push this into like this whole unclaimed area of hip hop, right? What are your plans now on the music side? You got a project coming, EP, single, and also second question to piggyback off of that. What duty do you feel you have now in this stage of your career as a man, or what you can contribute to hip hop for this next generation coming up?
It's a lot. I feel like as far as like what I'm trying to do, I want to make sure that I'm giving gems to people, in a time where older people are actually standing it out again. Like I don't have a reason to go away. Yeah, I don't have a reason to stop doing this. For what? Right. You see meth with the pap, like all these different people who are out of the box, like Mobb Deep's album's coming out. Yeah.
10-10, man. It's crazy, right?
Come on. Ghostface album is crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy how it's wild because my wife and I was having this conversation. She's a little younger than me. And she was just saying, like, it's crazy how some of these old guys out here now, like, you got Salt and Pepper, Right. I don't know if you heard Ice Cube's new album. His new album's incredible. Right. He's talking about, like, we have the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding of what's going on. We're not going anywhere. Right. We're going to teach y'all motherfuckers regardless, right? So it's incredible that a lot of the guys from our generation aren't bowing out. They taking it to new heights. You look at Jay,
and that's what I feel like a responsibility to do the same thing, man. At the level that they are, right? No. Can I make music at that level? Yes. Yeah. And can I do that for the people here where I live at? Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what it's I'm about. Not gonna, 2 years ago I came out with a song. I hadn't released music for a long time. It's called Second Wind. And that was like really like where I started feeling that. Yeah. Like, why do I have to walk away from this? Why do I have to stop doing this? Right. I make money. My life is okay. I have a home to live in. I live well. I can still do this anyway and just record how I want and do it on my terms. And, as long as the music is pushing me, I'm going to tap in. But that's the goal, is to like make sure that I'm leaving something that my kids can be proud of. Absolutely. Even if they don't want to listen to it today and they're just like, whatever, I'm listening to this other stuff. Cool. 20 years down the line, my kid's going to listen to that and be like, oh shit. Yeah, that's crazy. Or somebody else's kid is going to listen to it.
That's beautiful, man, because that, to me, that's what hip hop is about. Me and Grizz had these conversations too of like, when I was coming up, bro, like, I came from a home where my mom and pops wasn't together. Right. So it was like, there was shit that I learned from hip hop that I never learned from my pops. Right. There's shit I learned from hip hop I never learned from my moms, right? Yeah. So it's like, if it wasn't for guys like Nas and Kane and, Tupac and Big, like I wouldn't Big L, I wouldn't know these things, right? Like I joke with my pops for the longest. He tried to peep me on game how to put a condom on way early. I was probably like 10, 11. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. When I heard that Big L Clinic joint, I was like, okay. That sticks with you. So you remember, you know what I'm saying? So there's just certain things in life that's incredible. You have that mind state, because you're right. Another kid or someone younger, they want the knowledge. I think the generation today is kind of like us. They don't want to listen to the old head, but there's going to be a point where they come in and be like, I need to listen to them, right? I need to soak up this knowledge.
And in the music that I'm doing, that's where it is. I feel like I'm fully mature on some songs, but I still want to talk shit. Yeah, I still want to bar up on people and like, hey, this is still a competition. Absolutely. I love so many New Mexico artists, and I'm a fan of so many different people that are here. I feel like there's so many great artists that just haven't got the chance, that are here that I'm around. But
who you like from here?
I mean,
is anybody from here that you like that you think worthy of shout?
Yeah. I mean, definitely like Joe Speaks is an artist. The whole Mona Lisa gang, those guys are artists. Defy is an artist. You know, these guys are like raising New Mexico hip hop a lot. People that been in the culture that are kind of behind things and pushing different aspects, like, you know, Cello from Empty Pockets. Like, if you know about Empty Pockets and you know their legendary status in our state, you know, like, shout out to everybody, Small Town, Empty Pockets, everybody from that legendary crew. Those people are still here, but we have MCs like Johnny Bad Luck, and I even think just having like Johnny James around has that influence because he's talking, like whether he's making music or he's talking, like we have these different people. I'm a fan of these people and their movements and like what they're doing. Likewise. Am I always a fan of their music? Nah, it might be Simple Play to me. But it has an impact. Yeah, and absolutely. It has an impact on people place around here, and it generates the buzz.
That's the key thing, is that it's got its place. Right. And that's the important thing about hip-hop, is because it's connecting people. So as long as it's got a place, it's going to survive, right? It's going to find these pockets and to do. You know, for me, I say it all the time, man. I think Cali Soul is our guy, man.
Cali Soul.
Shout out to Cali. He got a project coming out very, very soon. I'm actually on an album, which is dope. We got a dope concept that we did together. And he's just one of those guys too that I think with the right push, with the right kind of money behind him, bro, he the fuck out of here. He's incredible too. So.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of people like that here.
When's the next project coming out? I guess before we jump into the topics, talk to us a little bit about projects you got out now, and then what you got coming up that you're working on.
In the last few years, I've just kind of been on a focus of just releasing singles. You know, there's definitely several singles that you can find on radio. Find me, GIZ, and there's a lot of singles. Last full project I did was Event Horizon, probably 2017. Those singles kind of got me going, and got me wanting to do things. I didn't want to release a project. I don't want to do that, and then, you know, I got the chance to like sit down with DJ Jason and like really go through some music and like what I'm trying to do. And I mean, I'm split between 2 EPs and an album, but I kind of want to release a full album. 13, 14 joints. I've already recorded a few of them. Definitely some local features and people that are going to be on it. I recorded a couple of songs with Jam. There's going to be a few people on this project that I'm stoked for it. And, but that's what's coming. I'm hoping to have this done by the spring, you know.
Take your time, bro.
And I'm not on anybody else's time. I got to join with my daughter. I got my daughter in the studio.
Dope.
She's been writing music.
That's dope.
She's on the hook and everything. And, you know, that's my focus, is like, how can I balance, like, I'm a dad. Yeah. You know, and I'm flowing through life, and that's what I want my music to paint, but I'm going to borrow up on everybody that talks shit. Yeah. If you want to create your list about anybody, whether it's nationwide or locally, I don't care about your list. I'm going to shit on everybody on the list. You know, and that's my attitude. You know?
That's why I love you, to be honest. Like, that's why me and you always connected. Like,
come see me. You don't believe it? We can do it on camera. I'm still like, okay, I haven't gotten worse. I have not gotten worse over time. I've been real quiet. I came out in 2009. I just been making music, making babies, having love in my life, having experiences, traveling and shit. Done a lot of things. Right now, I'm like, I'm gonna talk my shit. Hell like, I'm at a point where like that's what I want to do, but I'm also tapping into a lot of different kinds of music. Like, this next project is gonna be like, oh shit, I didn't think we would do a song like that. That's dope. Wow, that's crazy. And I you know, like, I want to make sure that people get that.
You got the right producer to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing, bro. I remember when we was doing Shane's project. Shout out to my brother Shane Dollars, when we would put his mixtapes together. Like, Jason was like the nucleus to the project. Like, he would really kind of give us that bass sound. And we just build off of it. So I'm excited, man. I know you got it coming, and
I wanted to do this with him for a while. Like, in 2017, I did a joint with him. Shout out to my boy Outrage. He's on the song with me. It's called Reflection. It was on Event Horizon. And since we made that song, that's kind of like what I wanted to do. And then COVID happened and this happened. And, you know,
life,
I lost my mind mentally for a little while. And, you know, I got split up with my wife and, you know, all these different things have happened. But now that happened, it's like, okay, now I'm lined up for this. It's like God said, hey.
Yep. He detoured you and pushed you right there. Nah, that's amazing.
And the friends around me that are pushing for it.
Listen, man, I've been pushing you too because I think you contribute something at a high level that people need to hear, and I think you're dedicated enough and you have enough passion in it for it to go. So I said it, I always say it, but you know I say it to you, man. Like again, my platform's your platform. So when you're ready to drop it, man, come through. I know we're gonna be filming a freestyle. You're gonna do something for Street Sweeper Radio, which I appreciate, man. We got the mix show coming. I've been blessed enough to be able to kind of carry that torch based on Slay, and we're going to start doing Street Sweeper Radio. So we got the drama hour on Sirius, but we're doing a Street Sweeper Radio where I basically do a mix twice a month. We get local artists from here, up-and-coming guys. We get legends. I just got a freestyle from Dave East, which I'm excited to throw out there. So we going to work, and we're going to continue to push it out there, and I want you to know that our platform's your platform. You want to come up here and talk shit. You want to call out some of them motherfuckers. You want to come up. You want to promote a record, come up. You want to debate, come up.